Hi lovely family, welcome to your favorite cooking channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make homemade coconut milk, and I'm going to add a special one, a plus one, which is a homemade coconut pineapple ginger juice, which you can enjoy at home. So for this you need coconut. Yes, could be copra. So this is a very dried type. You have the very fresh and you have this ones. This one's usually dry on the tree and they sell it. So look out for these ones. And you need to first and foremost remove the eye. Yes, I shot this with my very own IJ, my very good own assistant. So shout out to IJ in there. Now you need to first and foremost open the eyes or crack the eyes, and then you can pour out the water. It's always good to pour it out. And then when you're done, you can put it in the sun for it to burst, because the heat is going to let it burst. Or if you don't have the sun, sweetheart, just get the floor and then hit it on it for it to crash. Or you can use a mallet or a wooden mallet or a hammer to also crack it open. So once that is open, the next thing I'm going to proceed to do is to remove it from the shell. You need a knife to do it. Please don't use a very sharp knife, especially if you are new to it. Before you realize you're going to cut yourself, a blunt knife would work. What matters is that the end or the tip is pointed enough. So once that goes in, all I'm going to do is to wash afterwards. Now, some people would want to remove the brown part afterwards, but I don't really remove it. I just add it to it. It's a bit of work if you're going to really go with that part, and it's not going to make so much significant changes. That sometimes when you get to the base, you have a bit of the brown part at the base, but that's okay. It's homemade. That's the most important thing. So you just have to just cut your coconut to cute chunks when you're done for you to be able to blend. Don't stress your blender. Don't give your blender more work, and you're going to let it be doing a lot of stress. Save your blender so it can last for long for you. So cut this into nice chunks in there. Then it goes into your blender, and I'm going to make use of the coconut water, which I separated. The coconut water is always good to taste first before you use, and you realize at the base of the water was a bit of the shells which I left out. Yes, so most importantly, make sure it tastes. If the water is not tasting nice, sweetheart, put it somewhere, throw it away. If it is tasting good, you can use it. And you can drink the coconut water. You can also use it for your stews and all those things. But this, we're using it for the milk. So you're going to use it to blend the milk. And once we're done, we're going to sieve it. So I did double sieving here to reduce my work time. And I used just a little bit of water to rinse the rest from the pan. So once this is done, all I'm going to do is just sieve it off, and then the milk is done. This is how easy it is to do coconut milk. If you want to sweeten it up, you can use a sweetener of your preference, whether sugar, honey, any sweetener of your preference, but usually you won't need to go that far. You just need it in there. The fiber left is not going to go waste. I like to do biscuits with it, which we call here polo. Yes, I like to do polo with it. You can also do a lot of things with it. You can dehydrate it and it becomes more like fiber base for some of your stews or your pastry stuff. Yeah, so there's a lot you can do with it. Usually, people may say use it for coconut flour, but that's why you get more of the decastated coconut, which sometimes is not too sweet because most of the sweetness is out of it. And so I like to rather infuse it when I'm making my biscuits instead. Another way to go about this, if you don't have a very strong blender, which is okay and is normal, just grate it. However you can grate, whether you want to grate smooth, you want to grate rough, however you want to grate it. What matters is that you are grating the coconut for you to be able to blend in your blender. Because at the end of the day, if you add too much water, it's going to be very much runny. You're going to really enjoy the milkiness in there. The thicker, the better. The thicker also means that your blender is going to be stressed. And so I recommend, if you don't have a very strong blender, just grate it before you go into the blending process. Once that is blended, you can once that's grated, put it into your blender. You can use little water as much as possible, and you can blend and pause, blend and pause, blend and pause, so that at the end of the day, you get the most out of it. If you don't have a sieve and you have a sackcloth, you can also use that to squeeze it out. Locally, this is how they do, even when they're making coconut milk, coconut oil and stuff. So this was supposed to be for coconut oil cold press. I'll teach you that later on the channel. and this is a coconut milk. The reality is when it sits for a while, the milky base is going to be on top, the watery base is going to be down. That is how, and this is the stats of the coconut milk. If you want to do, you can leave it for a longer time, then you can easily separate and work on it. But this, I'm not going to go into that. This is for coconut milk. And so you can just shake up and then you drink. This is best drunk fresh, at least maximum 3 days. You should clear. That's the best way to work with this. If not, the next best alternative is to freeze. The only thing is when you freeze, because of the fat in there, it becomes a bit firm and it becomes a bit some way when you're working with it. So the next I'm going to teach you is this simple juice I do, which I love. It's pineapple, coconut, and ginger. So what I begin by doing is to cut my ginger. The ginger is supposed to add that peppery kick or that spicy kick or twist to it. It's very optional. If you don't like ginger, you can leave it. If you like more peppery kick or more spicy kick, you can add more ginger. And I'm just going to cut this into fine sizes, go into my blender. Then I also cut my coconut also into fine sizes. It goes into the blender. This is also best enjoyed that day or maximum 3 days in the fridge. If you freeze, it doesn't go too well when you freeze because the coconut has a bit of fat. This type of coconut has fat. And so as coconut oil, even when you put it in the fridge, it becomes caked. It's the same way when you put this in the freezer. By the time you take it off, even when you shake, you don't feel it's too smooth because the fats would have kind of formed into mini solids in there. And so I don't really recommend you do this by freezing. I just recommend you do this fresh and you drink, or a day or two, keep it in the fridge, maximum 3 days, then you clear. So once that's done, I'm going to add in my pineapple, and because I'm using pineapple, I don't need any sweetener. So the pineapple is going to add into the taste, the aroma, as well as the, flavoring. I'm not going to use any essence or anything. This is all natural juice in here. And even with the pineapple, the skin, I kept it, I boiled it, and then I brewed it, and I drank it later on. And there's a lot you can do with your pineapple skin. You can use it for your sobolu or your zobo juice, which I've taught also on this channel. So yes, once all of these goes in, then we are good to do the blending process. Now this is super nice when you eat it with some good jam, pineapple jam, eat it with some good, I know that vibe. And the pineapple jam is also on this channel. All you need is your pineapple with any sweetener of your preference, which is optional, and then you're good to go. So take off the not well or not good parts, and then you can blend. If you want it very thick, reduce the water quantity you're using. If you want it more fluid, more light, just add in more water as well. Blend this till it is very fine, and then we can proceed to sieving it and then getting the best out of it. So this is what I do for my pineapples in there. You can do this very smooth such that you don't have to even sieve afterwards. That's if you want to like the smoothie kind of vibe. But if you don't want the fiber in there, you just have to just sieve it as well. When you sieve, it becomes easy to drink and you can drink more. So these are even healthy juices you can take in the summer. These are healthy juices you can take to be more hydrated. And these are great for you as well. So this is one simple natural recipe I do. Give yourself a Hawaiian experience at home. Yeah, so once all of this goes, I'm just going to sieve it. I did a double sieving just to get it as fine as possible because sometimes you may finish and then there will be some still running through. And like I said, the coconut skin, if you don't like it, you can try to remove the brown part out of this before you put it in there. But that's not going to make so much significant difference in there. And this is best served a little bit cold, yes. If you serve with ice, it's also not bad. Just that if you're serving with ice, it should be very much thick so that it doesn't get diluted. And if you're serving with ice, you should be careful not to have so much coconut in, else it's going to also freeze in there. So there's like a Coco-Pine juice with a bit of ginger in there. And I have these bottles which I just rinse, sterilize a little bit, I pour them in, and then I close it, and they go into the fridge. So whenever I'm ready, I just take it out. Like I said, 2-3 days, clear it. Don't let it be in there for too long. Alternatively, you can also decide to freeze and then use for some of your recipes. I cooked rice with this and it was good. You can try it with your rice recipes, your jollof recipes, and things. Because of the pineapple, it becomes a bit sweet, but then it's milky sweet, which is also not bad. You can use it for your vegetables, in your vegetable stews, and all those ones as well. You can use it to steam your chicken, which gives you that sweet, juicy vibe in there. And once it sits for a while, it's going to separate, or yes, should I say coagulate or separate? Yes, it's going to form in layers. You'd have the ginger part and the base part of the pineapple going down, the water, and then the milky part coming up. So once you're ready, just stir it, mix it all up. Was that a foamy part and everything mixed perfectly beautifully together. And I enjoyed it with some bread and pineapple jam, homemade pineapple jam, which is on the channel. Yes, everything is on the channel. And these I kept in the fridge and I enjoyed as the days went by. So if you watch to this end, please do want to subscribe, like, and share. Let us have your feedback, your comments in the comment section. So I see you in the next food video. Do live life to the fullest. Be joyous, be merry. Lots of love from my team and I. Mwah.